Ah, the Fall Guy or Tarot. Which movie should I see this weekend? Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines, and indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including the Naked Gun cast grows. Yes, again. Is it with that Paul Walter Hauser guy or whatever? No, he is actually joining Fantastic Four. Kevin Feige tells Hugh Jackman that he should not have come back for Wolverine? What? More casting news with Now You See Me 3. Pope's Exorcist 2. Mike Flanagan takes on the Exorcist. Cool, man. We got some good headlines here. But the main story will be the Fall Guy or Tarot movie. Which one should you see? I'm going to do my Tarot review here in between some of these stories. But we start off today's show by talking about the Captain America 4 story and a new image that shows us, I guess, the new Captain America. And there he is from Empire. Exclusive. Well, it's not very exclusive anymore if I have it here. So they've kind of gone away from that really ugly white costume that went up his neck and went around his ear. Like, that thing would just look terrible. Awful. But we know that Falcon was going to become the new Captain America. And we've known that they've gone back for extensive reshoots on this, guys. So they've gone back to the drawing board. And hopefully this is going to be in the right direction. February 14th, though, it seems like it's fairly close. Yeah, there's a bunch of people saying that Red Hulk is confirmed, and Harrison Ford's playing Thunderbolt Ross now. And that's fine, whatever. I'm sure that we will eventually. But the new image, I'm digging it. It's like a hybrid mix of, the Falcon costume with Captain America. Who knows if he will be taking the super soldier serum in this one. But they've wanted to go back to the tone of Falcon and Winter Soldier, which makes it seem like their original take on it wasn't going to be that. It was going to be maybe more of the slapstick humor that has kind of burned people out of the MCU. Brave New Order. Brave New Order. Oh yes, that guy's going to be back as that villain. There's Harrison Ford and Anthony Mackie there on set, or behind the scenes there. So that's cool. And you can see there again, he's got like that costume that's very reminiscent of Captain America 2, right? Yeah, this ugly thing. Get that out of here. I understand that you had to put it in there for the fans for the series Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it just looks cumbersome. It looks like he's awkward wearing it. So it makes a little bit more sense. And I hope that Anthony Mackie can deliver this, like Sam Wilson, the character. They're going to have to somehow explain to the casual fans out there that did not watch Falcon and Winter Soldier that he is taking up the mantle. Well, even though that most of us saw the end of Endgame, right? Captain America 4, new image. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. February 14th, 2025. Just around the corner, it almost seems. Moving on. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes buzz. Reactions hit social media. Yeah, so I go over to the tomato meter. It's not quite out yet, guys. It comes out next week, right? So next Friday is when this comes out. I'll be seeing an advanced screening on Wednesday, I believe. So stay tuned to that. I'm really appreciating that, actually, the advanced screenings. So, yeah, Apes, reactions, social media. Let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews from Joe Blow. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes maintains and builds this impressive world that was explored by Matt Reeves. Wes Ball, the director of The Maze Runner, offers rich characters and an interesting take on the franchise. Perfectly cast, the film continues to take this story, and I'm not going to hit that because then we'll just get lost down a rabbit hole. Perry Nemiroff, we trust her always here on this channel. She says, quote, between Rise, Dawn, and War, and now Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, this series continues to be one of the very best franchise reboots out there. Yeah, it quietly is. And I really liked War of the Planet of the Apes. As expected, there was no better director to take over than Wes Ball. Of course, the Wizards of Weta had a big hand in this, but there's also no doubt that Ball's personal proficiency with visual effects contributed big time to how incredible this film looks. And yeah, it looks great. Like the trailers on the big screen have looked fantastic. There's no doubt about that. Uh, People are digging it, and I'm glad that it feels like from this outside here, it's captured the same tone of the previous three films, right? And that's a good thing. I don't want it to feel like a complete departure. Michael Lee says, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is a beautiful coming of age story framed around the uh, idea of legacy and what happens when it's lost to time or subverted by the wicked. It doesn't surpass what Andy Serkis did with his trilogy, but Wes Ball's approach proves the franchise has plenty of stories to tell. Kevin Durant's performance as Proximus Caesar steals the show. Well, yeah, that's this guy here, Proximus Caesar. And what's cool about this was that we just did a story the other day where they're going to release like a cut of this movie, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, without all the visual effects. You'll be able to see the motion capture actors on set, and that's going to be kind of weird and curious to see. Uh, yeah, I'm going to be kind of on board with that. Okay, uh, we're getting the idea here, right, guys? So just to wrap up one more, with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes being another great chapter, the series continues to hold strong. There are undoubtedly pacing issues, too long, but I love lost. I love being lost in that world, and the exploration of Caesar's legacy is fascinating. The ending will leave you wanting more. Good, 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 good. Any comments? No comments. Um, so on the surface, people are digging it, man. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes final trailer debuted the other day. We did a trailer reaction for that. I felt like I'm sold on this movie. Are you guys? Does this early buzz ramp up your anticipation? I think it does for me, actually, to tell you the truth. I'm looking forward to next Wednesday. So that's next week. Let's talk about what's coming out this week, the big storylines. What's opening up this week? And what should you be looking forward to? Well, you've got The Fall Guy and you've got Tarot. So let's start off with The Fall Guy. That's opened up with 3.15 million in previews. Okay, David Leitch directed, has a reported budget of around 130 million. Really? Okay, whoa. They were able to make The Fall Guy for 130 million? With all those stunts, all those big pyrotechnics, all these big action sequences, 130 million. But then Martin Scorsese can't make a Western type drama for no less than $200 million? What? See the disconnect here going on? Sorry, that's just something minor going on in the background with my. It always puzzles me with these big inflated budgets, and it's refreshing to see something as big like The Fall Guy come in with a $130 million budget. It was a good movie. Yeah, so people are digging it. The people that have gone out to see it, including myself, 84% by 215 reviews. So that's steady. I think it was like 85, like around 144 or something. So it's maintained that. Uh, and from what I understand, audience people, everybody else who have seen it, I'm just refreshing it here, still no audience score just yet. But it's probably going to be around the same level. So if we're going to talk about which movie should you see, if you like action, you like stunt work, you like a good popcorn flick, then The Fall Guy is going to be right up your alley. If you like horror, if you like quick-paced movies that come in like for and like an hour and 30 minutes, then go check out Tarot. Aye, 6%. Oh mercy! That's some low rate. Actually, I think that's the lowest ratings I've seen all year. Right? 6%. Now that's being rather harsh on it, but only 18 reviews. I am going to be doing my formal review here for Tarot. I didn't think that it was that terrible. Not 6%. It is cookie cutter. It is run of the mill. So if you are thinking Should I see Fall Guy or Tarot? Which one do I want to see? Um, if horror's not your bag, go see Fall Guy. There it is, straight up. Tarot, fairly run-of-the-mill horror, brings nothing new to the table, and it's going to be picked apart by a lot of horror fans out there. But I'm going to try to justify that in my movie review when we talk about that next. So, what else is coming out this weekend that may catch your eye? Over on Netflix, Jerry Seinfeld has a movie called Unfrosted that is just getting raked over the coals, just like Tarot. That's not being received very well either. And then over on Amazon Prime, on the streaming services, you got The Idea of You, a rom-com, or maybe like a romantic drama, with Anne Hathaway falling in love with a young pop star. 83% there. I'm going to check it out probably later today or tomorrow, just for my own viewings. So that's what you got going on this weekend, guys. Tarot or the Fall Guy, what are you going to go check out? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Stay tuned for my review for Tarot. You're watching Mirror Domains. All right, let me get set up here for my review. Whoops. Reckon I could do a Fall Guy and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes double bill. Yeah. If you're not going to see Fall Guy this weekend, hold on to next weekend and go see. You'll probably see two big epic. Well, Fall Guy's not epic, but just a fun roller coaster ride. Probably right up against, because those early buzz snapshot reviews of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes did make it feel like it was grandiose, right? 6% bet they didn't see that coming in the cards. Hard glass. Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to have to, maybe I'll use that one. Maybe I'll have to steal that in my review. All right. Did I get my Excel sheet opened? I didn't. Okay, I don't even know if I should bother with the Excel sheet. All right. Where are we at? Get off that. And Tarot. Tarot IMDb, James. And Tarot trailer. Although here we go. Here we go. Tarot. How bad is this movie? Wow, it's not very good. It's fairly run-of-the-mill. It's going to get picked apart by us hardcore horror fans. Guys, what's this movie about? Should you waste your money to go see it this weekend? Tarot is a movie about a bunch of kids that are at this cabin, and they find a tarot deck and they do a reading, but the reading is cursed. And of course, they end up getting picked off one by one by these demonic creatures that reside in the cards, like the hermit, the magician, death, of course, obviously. And some of the creature design, as a horror fan, I would say was rather well done. But what are you going to get out of this? It's a fairly quickly paced movie, so it gets right into it right away. But then it takes like 20 minutes for the actual title card to come up. So that's kind of like, okay, we're getting right into them doing the tarot card readings. But then like 20 minutes later, you're like, boom, tarot. Wait a minute, there's only an hour left in this movie. What's going on here? So that's what I mean by it moving rather quickly. And because of that, I said straight out of the theater reaction in my little mini review there that because it's so quickly paced and edited, you don't really have time to know these characters. So they're very cardboard, very surface level. And because of that, people will pick it apart and say it's not very good. And I can't disagree with it. But as a seasoned film critic, I suppose, I look at it and say, well, I know what they were trying to do. It's very entry-level horror. Jacob Batalon is the big name that you know. He was like Ned in the Spider-Man movies. He's actually not all that good of an actor. And that could be because of the dialogue, because of the quick pacing of the editing. Uh, it's just so hammy. It's so over the top. And that's what I mean by very entry level horror here. Because it's kind of like, this is the type of movie where if you are just a casual movie watcher, this is something you put on in the background and you can look at your phone and you're not going to miss anything. If you're scared, you'll be able to look at your phone and you just have fun because it's jump scares. This is not the kind of movie where it's going to linger with you up here, kind of like The Conjuring or Sinister, or it's nothing like that, and it's nothing as auteurish as say Hereditary. Is it something that was trying to be a little bit like Cabin in the Woods? Maybe, but I looked at tarot and I got whiffs. I got notes of say like Dead Silence, of movies like that where it's just kind of like there's a schlocky kind of gimmick to it, where it's kind of like, okay, it's there, it's going to come and go, and people aren't going to talk about it, and that's what you should be expecting from the tarot movie. So let's go over and take a look at my early score sheet here and put in some numbers. Acting, directing, story are of a possible 2 points each, with score and cinematography 1 point each. So acting, it's not all that great, but it is serviceable. There is the main girl in this who does the readings did okay, but it's hammy. It's over the top for the most part. The biggest problem was that there was too many characters. I would have dialed it back to maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 that read the cards, and then people. Then when somebody dies, you feel a little bit more of the weight. Directing is fair, mediocre. Story, intriguing idea. Just it felt like a made-for-TV movie almost. Cinematography, it's a darkly lit film. When you watch this, and when you see this on the streaming services, you're going to have to crank up the intensity of the brightness because it's kind of like it is dark. Luckily, because I saw it in the theater, it didn't bother me. The score, it's serviceable. There's no really big needle drops in here. So that's where I'm sitting, around 4 out of 10 right now. Before I go over to take a look at the snapshot reviews on the tomato meter, which we'll do right now. So let's see what the people on Rotten Tomatoes are saying. Oh my sweet Jesus, 6% by 18 reviews for Tarot, guys. It's not that bad. It's not a 6% movie, and you can see, like, I was being pretty critical on it, and I am being critical on it. But I'm also trying to tell you what you can get out of this movie as well, right? Like, how bad is this? Well, I told you, the acting is hammy. It's cheesy. It's quickly paced, at least, so you move through the story well. You're not going to be going into a lull at any time in the story that'll be like, just get on with it. For God's sake, it's not like that. And some of the costume designs are okay. It's interesting. So it's nowhere near a 6. So this is what I meant in my straight out of the theater reaction, is that people who are not like the surface off the cuff thing is to say, oh yeah, James, it's terrible, it's awful. All I want to hear you say, James, is that tell me how terrible and bad it is. Well, I am, but I'm not gloating about it. But I'm also trying to, as I said, give you things that may be redeemable about it, and who perhaps this audience is for, like why this movie was made, like who it's directed towards. So let's just take a look at some of the snapshot reviews. Matt Donato, somebody we trust here, didn't like it. If we're comparing failed Final Destination and 13 Ghosts rehashes, Tarot is up there with the worst. Yeah. It accomplishes what it wanted to do, though. There's no lingering question. Does it stupid and silly towards the end? Yeah. And then David Nusser, an intriguing premise that is, by and large, employed to hopelessly and aggressively lackluster effect. Is there anybody here that has a good review up? William Bibiani. There's an honesty to this kind of pop filmmaking that's easy to admire, even if it doesn't necessarily make the actual movie any better. All right, okay, somebody liked it over at Collider. While it still manages to scare, inflicting fairly brutal scenes of violence on characters we have come to care about and understand would have made Tarot go from scary to downright horrifying. That's that's a long-winded sentence. Is there some while it still manages to scare, yeah, it's got jump scares, and that's it, jump scares. Inflicting fairly brutal scenes of violence on characters we have come to care about. So there it sounds like you care about the characters, but you don't because they're so cardboard. It's like they're meant to die. Why do we care about these people, right? And understand would have made Tarot go from scary. Yeah, uh, yeah. No, I can't. For the most part, it's not a good movie, right? I concede that wholeheartedly. Uh, but um, it feels like novice filmmaking of somebody's first attempt, right? And it's kind of like, well, it's there. It doesn't offend me. there you go. As a horror fan, it does not offend me. It's just not very good. Tarot. Let's wrap up this thing, man. Watchability factor. If you found the premise interesting, yeah, I would maybe check this out. Let's give that a 0.5. It's not worth going to the theater. Wait for streaming. 4.5 for Tarot. Could I knock it down for directing? Perhaps because of the pacing, because of the script. There are some performances in here where you know that it's like, okay, these actors are trying, but the dialogue, you need to sometimes to give dialogue some breathing room, right? To go, oh, but it's constantly right on to the next thing. If they're not talking, they're moving into another scene. So it's kind of like that. That's what I mean by how quick this movie's paced. So yeah, 4.5 out of 10 feels right. It feels like it's made for the TikTok crowds. That's it right there. I nailed it right on the head with Tarot. It's made for the TikTok crowds who constantly just swipe through media. That's how quickly paced this movie is. Tarot, horror, 4.5. What do you guys think? Out of this and The Fall Guy, guys, obviously go see The Fall Guy. You're going to have a lot more fun watching that. But as horror fans, we got to check these things out, and we got to have somewhat of a measured response. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, guys, we do this live, and we film these live. I take great pride in that. So let's take some live comments here from people in the live chat. Homo says, Tarot, I'm waiting for streaming. I feel if I watch Tarot in theaters, it looks like a movie that I'm probably going to walk out of the theater. Yeah, some people, I wouldn't blame you if you did. Homo said, like, when I watched the first Omen, I almost walked out. It's not as, it's worse than the first Omen. Like, the first Omen had some qualities about it for sure that was kind of like, okay, well, they're trying to make a decent film here. Pomo, Fall Guy for sure, but sorry to Tarot, even if I do love the cast. Yeah. So, guys, that's my review. If you liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. What else can you find here on the channel? Well, you can get trailer reactions for things like Deadpool and Wolverine. My April movies ranked video is up on the channel right now. Go check that out. We got movie reviews for The Fall Guy, so come see that. And Tarot, this review will be chopped up and put up on the channel later on. We got reviews for Boy Kills World. Full series reactions for Fallout and Reacher. Really good series right there. And of course, then we do movie news headlines throughout the week where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. Let me know what you thought about Tarot in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains! I gotta make sure that I don't hit the stop streaming button when I do these things, because I don't want to accidentally lose the stream. Oh, so Pomo, you didn't like the first Omen, huh? That makes two of us. I just felt like they were overreaching. They didn't quite know how to handle that property. Okay. Where are we at now? Let's get into this. Did we already rag on this? We did, right? Jerry Seinfeld's Unfrosted divides critics, one of the worst movies in the decade. Yeah, I forgot to... we looked at the tomato meter for that, 47%. See, It's being heralded as one of the worst movies in decades, but then Tarot just came out at 6%. Uh, hey, if you like Jerry Seinfeld, you're going to want to check that out. I've got nothing against Melissa McCarthy. For me, I hate to say this, guys, but I've never found Jerry Seinfeld all that funny, so I'm not going to check it out. It's not for me. All right, let's get back into this. Now You See Me 3 has expanded its cast to include Rosamund Pike. Cool. We like Rosamund Pike here. Gone Girl, one of her best performances. The Saltburn, and yeah, she was really good in Saltburn as well. She got nominated for certain things last year for Saltburn. She's going to be joining the Magic theme franchise, Now You See Me 3, so it grows with Rosamund Pike. Can't go wrong with adding talent like that. So who else is in this movie? Well, Now You See Me 3 has Ariana Greenblatt. She's a star on the rise. Morgan Freeman, Woody Harrelson, Isla Fisher, Mark Ruffalo, Jesse Eisenberg. I don't know if these other ones will that are blacked out. I think Dominic Sessa is confirmed, but I would imagine these other two are. I had fun with the first two. Daniel Radcliffe in the second one was a hoot, right? Directed by Ruben Fleischer this time around. Okay, Fleischer. What else has he done? Fleischer. That sounds familiar to me. Zombieland. Okay. Gangster Squad he produced. He directed the first Venom, and he produced Uncharted. So he directed Uncharted as well. So, okay. So, yeah, actually Uncharted and Zombieland, that's the same kind of tone as the first two Now You See Me movies, right? So, Ruben Fleischer, I'd be on board with that. Rosamund Pike, Ariana Greenblatt, this young actress, she was in Ahsoka, and she's going to be in a upcoming movie this year, Fear Street Prom Queen, and Borderlands. Oh yeah, she's in the Borderlands movie from Eli Roth, right? And Kate Blanchett. She was in Barbie last year. 65 with Adam Driver. That was not very good, but her resume is getting filled out here and peppered with very interesting stuff. Yeah, she was the young Gamora in Infinity War. So did you do it? What did it cost you? Haunting lines. That's probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, when Thanos comes out after doing the snap and young Gamora's there. And what did it cost you? Yeah, haunting. Good actress. So she's also going to be in Now You See Me 3. What do you guys think? Now You See Me 3. No release date, but if they're just adding up the cast, it's ramping up now. I would say maybe late next year. Late next year for Now You See Me 3. Rosamund Pike, let me know what you think in the comments. All right. This is a bizarre story. This is weird, man. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Hugh Jackman says finally wearing yellow Wolverine suit felt so right. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. But then we go on to hear these other stories where Kevin Feige told him not to come back. That maybe he should not, because Wolverine was such a great send off, right? And that's just puzzling. I don't understand that. Feige was kind of like telling him that Logan was such a good send off, you might tarnish that, but whatever. We all love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. That story never made me go, oh, Kevin Feige, you're really making me question your decision making if you're going to tell Hugh Jackman not to come back and walk away from not only the cheddar, but pleasing us fans. But I do think that this will be the last, without a doubt, this will be the last time we see him. Like people would say, well, he might show up in Secret Wars, James. And I'm not going to say never, but that's the last time that we could possibly see him. Because we got to get to the newer Wolverine and the new iterations of the X-Men, right? But it's cool that You see the two conflicting messages here from Feige. Nah, we don't want to do that. But then Hugh Jackman says, huh, no, I'm putting on this costume. It felt so right. And it's probably had to do a lot with Ryan Reynolds telling him what the story's going to be and how they've had like this kind of dubious off-screen, uh, not beefs, but like jousting with each other verbally, kind of back and forth kind of thing, taking shots at each other, friendly jousting, right? And it's good, and I think all of that is going to pay off on the screen. I think it is. So he says here, quote, "We almost did it in Wolverine, but from the moment I put it on here, I was like, how did we never do this? It looked so right. It felt so right. I was like, that's him." Yeah. Now I don't know if he'll wear the mask part, but it'd be kind of cool if he did for at least one shot. He just was wearing it and took it off because it just gives us the opportunity to see what it could have looked like, right? Because the original ideologies behind it was that it was going to look silly, that it would look weird, that people just would say that it looks ridiculous. But we've got a bunch of pictures here that say that no, it doesn't look ridiculous. It looks like the Wolverine that we know, uh, and that's the way I want to see it. That's the way I want to see it. Okay. Uh, yeah, I don't understand these headlines from Feige. Passed on Ryan Reynolds' first Deadpool 3 pitch. I wasn't sure how to incorporate them. So it seems like Feige, like, how could you not know that, right? Yeah, Kevin Feige initially told Hugh Jackman not to come back as Wolverine after Logan. It's kind of like, are you okay? Because he's obviously worried that he's going to tarnish the brand, but you're going to reboot it in a little bit anyway. So, like, these headlines just, they're puzzling, right? It's like, why? Do you not trust Ryan Reynolds? Obviously not if you didn't like his first pitch, right? Trust him. I would trust him 100%. And I think it's going to deliver. Deadpool and Wolverine, I think, is going to make a big truckload of money at the box office this year. Easily one of my most anticipated movies of the year, of these upcoming movies. It's going to be for a lot of people too, right? Uh, just to see these two going back and forth. I can't wait for it. So, do you agree with Kevin Feige's comments here and Hugh Jackman saying, no, I'm putting on that costume. It's going to feel great. And it did. So, and the first trailer, guys, we did a reaction to that. I think it looks fantastic. Go over and check that out up on the channel right now. What else can you see here on Mirror Domains? All my April movies ranked is now up on the channel. Movie reviews for Fall Guy and Tarot, Boy Kills World, Fallout series reactions, and Reacher, seasons 1 and 2. Very good series. And of course, then we do movie news headlines throughout the week where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. And we do it all live, so you can participate in the live chats. Tell me what you thought about some of these stories in the comments, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. Very, very weird, right? That Feige's like, no, don't come back. Don't come back. Just one quick little Hugh Jackman story here. Hugh Jackman, Jodie Comer starring in The Death of Robin Hood. Good to see that he's also branching out and doing more dramatic work as well. Although some of them have kind of flown under the radar, right? The Death of Robin Hood, sounding like a cheery new film from Michael Sarnowski, the director of Pig. And he's also directed Quiet Place Day One. So after Quiet Place Day One, he's going to do The Death of Robin Hood with Hugh Jackman. Cool. According to the official logline, the film will find Robin Hood grappling with his past after a life of crime and murder. Wow. So this will be a period piece, or is this kind of like a modern reimagining of it? Instead of the merry outlaw seen in the certain previous versions of the story, like the one portrayed by Errol Flynn. Yeah. He finds himself gravely injured and in the hands of a mysterious woman who offers him a chance at salvation. It sounds reminiscent of Richard Lester's elegiac take on the popular story, Robin and Marion, starring Sean Connery and Audrey Hepburn. Okay, Death of Robin Hood, huh? Trying to make up for his shortcomings. Trying to make some, I don't know. So is Jodie Comer going to be made Marion or something? Maybe his daughter? Who's going to be playing the Sheriff of Nottingham? If it's going to even have any of those characters. It just seems like it's going to be a story of him dealing with this woman out in the woods. Could be a character study. Anyway, interesting. Next, Fantastic Forecasting. God, my God. We saw this yesterday in the Twitter roundup, didn't we? Paul Walter Hauser continues taking every job in Hollywood by joining the cast of Marvel's Fantastic Four. I'm not going to speculate as to which character. So what else has Paul Walter Hauser joined this week? He's joined the Naked Gun reboot, and he is going to be playing Chris Farley in an upcoming biopic from Josh Gad. Still not seeing Farley in him. He's got the round face and everything, but he's got a different presence. I don't know if he'll be able to do it. Hopefully he will. Who will he be in Fantastic Four? I don't know. Somebody said Doctor Doom. No, no, they're not going to go. That would just, you want to make fans angry. That's a surefire way to do it. This guy's getting around a bit, isn't he? Yeah, that checks out. It's like Julia Ormond all over again. Crazy. Probably Mole Man. Mole Man? Huh. So, yeah, interesting. We just talked about him joining the Naked Gun reboot. That's what we're going to talk about next, because the cast of that is also growing. From Apes to Slapstick, Kevin Durand joins the cast of the Naked Gun reboot. Cool. We just saw him in Abigail, one of my favorite movies of last month. Go check out that video, guys. Trust me. And find out where it ranked. And he's, of course, going to be in next week's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as that Proximus Caesar, right? So they rebooted the Naked Gun with Liam Neeson, Paul Walter Hauser, Pamela Anderson, Kevin Durand. So who's he going to be playing? Is he going to be playing the Nordberg character? Maybe he'll be playing the bad guy. Yeah, maybe he'll be playing the bad guy. I don't think they'll bring back characters like Pap Schmear. Maybe. So this is coming out next year, right? Well, it's definitely 2025 if they're going to start shooting it soon. Liam Neeson is attached. Paul Walter Hauser is going to be playing Captain Ed Hawken, which is a weird casting. I don't understand that. I would have preferred actually Kevin Durand to play Ed Hawken, because Ed Hawken is a serious character, right? He added some serious tone to it. But anyway, Kevin Durand, who's he going to play? Naked Gun cast. It's growing and makes it feel a little bit more tangible. Let's move on to some horror headlines. Guys, you know horror is my bag. It always is. And in that vein, Mike Flanagan is one of my favorite creators out there right now. Mike Flanagan has done Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, the Doctor Sleep movie. He crafts his series so well, and his projects. He always casts the greatest people in his productions. Mike Flanagan, though, in talks to direct the next Exorcist sequel from Blumhouse and Universal, replacing David Gordon Green. No, everybody liked the Exorcist Believer. No one liked the Exorcist Believer. Okay, maybe you did, that small little guy sitting there in the back corner. But the rest of us saw it and thought it was hot trash. Now, would a brand name as big as Mike Flanagan coming in save and redeem the franchise? This is one of those circumstances where you just kind of gotta, I would say, he could, if you let him Last Jedi it. Kind of like sweep away everything that was done by Believer, take it in a different direction, and hope people don't remember Exorcist Believer. That's the only way. But let's see what's going on here. Yeah, he's in talks, so it sounds like he would probably get signed on. He just finished working on the Fall of the House of Usher for Netflix, and then he started another series that's going to be over on Amazon Prime. So I guess after that series, the Amazon Prime series, he'll come work on Exorcist. We know that they dumped in a lot of money to acquire the rights for the Exorcist movies and to make them, and they want to make 3 of them. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah, it pulled in 137 million on a $30 million budget for Exorcist Believer, which was okay because that's all on brand recognition. And here's what it just harkens back to what I was saying before about diluting the brand. When you make a bad film, even though that it made money, it made that money because of the brand name. People went out to see it because of The Exorcist. People went to see the Halloween movie because of Michael Myers. They didn't go because of David Gordon Green. And then once they saw it, they were like, David Gordon Green is like, it feels like he doesn't know what he's doing with these things. Um, I, I think David Gordon Green will be fine when he goes out and starts doing his own stuff. Maybe. That is yet to be determined. But Mike Flanagan is a step in the right direction of saying, okay, we want to actually bring in people who have had a good track record in dealing with this genre and uh, a track record where us horror fans will respect, right? So the next one was supposed to be called The Exorcist Deceiver. It remains to be seen if that's going to be what it's called. I'm sure it's going to go through extensive retooling because, as I said, if you don't know Mike Flanagan's work, he's very, very meticulous in developing and crafting his stories, right down to like the way things are set in the room and stuff, like positioning and stuff like that, camera angles, uh, sound design. Um, he's easily one of my favorite creators right now, Mike Flanagan. I'll watch anything that he does. So if he's taking over this franchise, I would say good, because we don't want things like the first Omen to happen, right? Give it to people that know what they're doing when it comes to horror, when it comes to these franchise things, right? Because here's what I'll say, and this may not be received the right way, uh, but let me articulate. The Exorcist and franchise movies, you want to have experienced hands crafting that and delivering that for us audiences. When it's something new, like Tarot, and it's a big swing and a miss, that's fine. You don't need a Mike Flanagan to come in and do Tarot, right? Uh, it's kind of like you'd look at it and be like, he would have looked at the script for Tarot and said, I'm not doing Tarot. Get that crap away from me, kind of thing, right? That's the kind of caliber. Like an Ari Aster, even, right? He would look at Tarot and go, no. But even Ari Aster, if you were to tempt him, do you want to do an Exorcist movie? Ari Aster would deliver probably a very haunting and disturbing Exorcist movie, right? Uh, that's the kind of caliber of director and storyteller that you would want to bring on for a franchise. Actually, that's good arguments. Maybe I'll cut that out and put this as a shorter video, because I feel like that's what I really wanted to articulate with this and the state of horror. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll definitely talk about it. Let's go on and talk about the Pope's Exorcist 2 being greenlit. The Pope's Exorcist. Russell Crowe, horror movie. The Pope's Exorcist sequel confirmed by producer. Well, if you watch the first Pope's Exorcist, you know that this was uh, taken from a series of books that the actual guy wrote about his experiences, right? Because it was based on a real uh, guy who did exorcists. and he had written multiple stories of all of his experiences. So there's a lot of material here that could be adapted, and a lot of people really didn't like the Pope's Exorcist. I did. I'm one of the people that uh, had fun actually with the Pope's Exorcist. Let me see if I can pull that up here on the tomato meter and see what the scores were. By critics, 50%, but 81 by the audience. And I was more on the audience side. Now, it wasn't an 8 out of 10 movie. I grant that. But it wasn't as terrible as some people would have you believe. It was a fairly run of the mill kind of horror exorcist movie, though, of like the kid gets possessed and gets scratches all over his face, and then once he's excised, all of those scratches go away. People can float. The demon can have powers of telekinesis. I think there's room there, though, that if you go with Pope's Exorcist 2, take it in a different direction, like what Conjuring 2 did, right? Add more to the mythos of this father, Gabriel Amorth. And the way that Crow played him, he played him hard edged. He didn't put up with any BS. That's what I liked about it. Because Crow always brings it. And we're going to see him next in another exorcism movie called The Exorcism, where he plays an actor who works on the set of a movie that deals with exorcism. So I'm a big fan right now of the Russell Crowe exorcism phase that he seems to be going through, and I can't champion it enough. What do you guys think about that? More Pope's Exorcist. Cool, man. Moving on. Oh, yeah, is that it? That's all we got in the can for today. Good. We got some hit or miss headlines. And what we do here, if it's a hit, we'll talk about it. If it's a miss, we'll move on. Artglass says, I like the Pope's Exorcist. Russell Crowe brought the gravitas, an intelligent horror thriller. Yeah. Yeah. And I liked how he was like, he would have these like tests of like, are you really possessed? What's like he would test them. And I like that. I like that angle to it. Okay. Hit or miss. Ryan Gosling says he turned away from darker roles for his family and mental health. So I guess no more Nicholas Winding Refn collaborations with for you, huh? Um, okay, fine. I guess this is somewhat of a hit. Um, he's had success going to big films like Barbie, and I think Fall Guy is going to be big as well. La La Land was very accessible by a lot of people, and he says for his family and mental health. Uh, yeah, because Drive, you're going down to some dark places there. And who knows what the heck was going on with uh, that weird one where he's like in love with his mother. Right? Also a Nicholas Winding Refn movie. But I hope he doesn't stay away too long, because I hope Blade Runner 2049 kind of stuff doesn't get shoehorned into that as well. Or The Place Beyond the Pines, where he's like a bank robber, which was also he's good. He can go down to those levels. He's got a lot of versatility in the movies like The Fall Guy, contrasted with movies like Drive and Blade Runner 2049, just show how much versatility he can do. And then he can do fun popcorny type flicks like Barbie. But yeah, for your family's sake, that if your kids are coming up now and want to see your movies, see your projects, that door will always be open for him. Keep an eye on his projects. Something's in the water. Lauren Lyle says the shark thriller is Jaws meets Bridesmaids. What? There's something in the water. Hey, I like a good shark movie. It came out today, May 3rd, from Studio Canal. Where? Where did it come out? Um, Big tank of water, fake sharks. All right. Did we get a trailer for this? Huh. Let's see if we can hunt down a trailer for this shark movie. There's something in the water. Okay, so this trailer came out 2 months ago. Bridesmaids meets Jaws, huh? Interesting combo there. So yeah, you can tell that the background here. There's the. It's supposed to be the horizon line, but you can tell it's kind of like a mad painting. Um, Bunch of people get stranded out in the ocean. Sharks start circling around. Okay, guys, I like cheesy shark movies. I don't expect them ever to be always like top tier material. Uh, yeah, they get slowly picked off one by one. Yeah, but yeah, you can totally tell. Bridesmaids, though, huh? A bunch of what people out at a bridal shower kind of thing. One of them is getting married, and they all go to have fun on a boat or something that gets torpedoed or something. uh, Sunk anyway. So simple premise. Okay, bunch of girls eaten by sharks. Basically showed us the whole film. So cool, looks lush. Love hearing the best yoga voice on this. What a pleasure to work with Haley and the team. What? So somebody who was in the movie watched their own trailer. Studio Canal. Meh. Hey, we got us talking about it at least. Bye for in the live chat says hey. Yeah. Something in the water too. Shark versus Diane Nyad. Yeah. Even the fastest swimmer out there is not going to be able to outswim a shark, especially if it's a mako. Oof. The Dark Knight co-writer Jonathan Nolan would absolutely return for more Batman movies. This broke the other day too. What's there to say about this? Oh, of course I like my experience on the Batman. I would write more. Okay, is your brother going to come back and do more? Is Christopher Nolan going to come back and do more Batman? I don't think so. This is the situation where um, you don't want to dilute that brand. Like uh, Dark Knight Rises, which I still enjoy, uh, was this close from being a complete swing and a miss for a lot of people. But why though? I like Bane. Well, that's compliments of Tom Hardy for you there, right? And a lot of that had to do with the writing. Jonathan Nolan, co-writer, could he go and work on help Matt Reeves develop his Batman movies? Because it seems Matt Reeves has taken forever to get his scripts together. Go help him there. That's what I would say. Because I don't think Christopher Nolan's coming back. Finally, Night Court sworn in for the third season on NBC. Okay, guys, I watched the first 6 episodes of Night Court because I was a big fan of the first iteration of that series. It was a big cringe fest, though. But as I said, a lot of TV series take time to develop, take time to find their footing, and sometimes it takes 3 seasons. So maybe I will start watching the third season as long as they got away from that cheesy, very sitcom-y type of acting of kind of like, I don't want to go down there kind of thing. Next up in the case is, ooh, what happened to my roast beef sandwich? Like that kind of acting. And that's not what the first Night Court was. It had silliness and audacious kind of things going on, but it was delivered in such a way that it was like they're taking it sort of seriously. It was like, yeah. So hopefully they found their footing. Hopefully it gets off the ground. Well, it's off the ground, but it's kind of like hopefully it goes into like overdrive. Let's see how that goes. I'll watch it. I'll watch. I'll see what's going on. All right. Finally, that's it. That's all I got in the can. Let's go over the film updates and see if I missed anything out there that's trending. Any trailers that dropped? Probably not because it's like the early weekend here. Callahan Skogman joins Margot Robbie, Colin Farrell, Joni Turner Smith, and a bunch of people in A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, a romance film. Well, I like Margot Robbie and I like Colin Farrell. Phoebe Waller Bridge. I think if we can forget about Indiana Jones 5, the better. I have no idea who the heck this guy is either. Callahan Skogman. Skogman, James. Skogman. What else was he in? 30 years old. You know what? I don't know why I'm seeing this right now, but I'm getting possibilities of maybe could this guy be our next Wolverine? 30 years old. That's about the same time that Hugh Jackman picked it up. Maybe it's just the white shirt, the physique, and the hairiness. Yeah. Kongan Nada is the guy who did After Yang. Oh, really? I liked After Yang. Danny Ramirez, Mike Verstappen, F1 pre. Okay. Okay. Hugh Jackman and Jodie Comer, Death of Robin Hood. Yeah, we talked about that. Coda. Olivia Cook, Jamie Bell to star in romance. Takes One to Know One. All right. Femme. Under the Bridge. Emily in Paris, season 4. Yeah. Andrew Garfield and Claire Foy to star as husband and wife in the film adaptation The Magic Faraway Tree. I like Andrew Garfield. And I like Claire Foy, actually, too. Cool. Biggest box office failures of 2023. The Marvels net loss 273 million. The Flash 155 million. Indiana Jones, no, actually I think Indiana Jones is much higher loss, guys. Because its production budget was a lot higher than what they reported. And if it better be the 300+ million budget. Wish was a bomb. Haunted Mansion, a bomb. Josh O'Connor, we just saw him in Challengers. I guess he's also in The Crown or something, isn't he? First look at Gia Coppola's The Last Showgirl, starring Pamela Anderson. Well, she's coming back to acting. We're going to see her in Naked Gun. Chris Evans and Dakota Johnson on the set of Celine Song's rom-com Materialists. Okay. Mikey Madison, starring in Andorra. Andorra, a young sex worker from Brooklyn, gets her chance at a Cinderella story when she meets and impulsively marries the son of an oligarch. Once the news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened. Well, I do like Mickey Madison. She was in Scream 5, right? She did a good job. Happy birthday to Rachel Zegler. Well, happy birthday, Rachel. I was one of the people that actually liked you in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. My only exposure to you. Oh no, I saw her also in Shazam 2. Kind of forgettable though. And of course, don't remind me about that horrible Snow White movie that's going to be upcoming with those CGI dwarves. Haunting. Just haunting. Zendaya shares a new set photo, or a new photo. Chris Evans, Anya Taylor-Joy, Salma Hayek, and Brendan Fraser will star in Sacrifice, to be directed by Roman Gavras. Good cast. I like that cast. Don't know what it's about. We'll find out maybe. Rosamund Pike joining Now You See Me 3. Okay, guys. Ryan Gosling saying he doesn't want to do dark roles. Okay, so it's just getting a little redundant here. We covered these stories. Paul Walter Hauser for Fantastic Four. Rifer says, I'm watching The Idea of You starring Anne Hathaway tonight on Prime. I think so will I. I think I'll watch it tonight. We don't need to do a watch along for that. Nobody came and watches the rom com stuff. There is a concept that I'm trying to formulate here of doing like a hybrid mix between our full live watch alongs and like those truncated versions of other movie reactors that do like 30, 40-minute cut down versions of their reactions. But I want to make it even smaller. I want to make it like a 10 to maybe 15 at the max uh, minute long kind of like encapsulation of what the entire movie is kind of thing, and have my reactions like those small little reactions that you see from my shorts. Like it'll be high intensity energy from me like that. It's hard for me to do it sustained through for a full movie reaction when we do it live, right? There's a concept there that I want to do, and I want to break it up very much into the first act, second act, third act kind of thing. Argyle says, as a child, I loved the Faraway Tree series. Such escapism. Happy that Andrew Garfield has signed up for this. Oh, really? What? Let me just take a look at what's Faraway Tree. Faraway Tree. Oh, for children. Okay. The Magic Faraway Tree. So there's going to be a little bit of mysticism, mystical things going on, or is it they're stranded on an island somewhere? Make believe, maybe? Fascinating. You didn't see the new West Side Story? Should I have? Oh. Wow, James. Way to take the air out of everything. Hey, you know what? Let's not. Maybe we'll do. Maybe. Maybe I'll. It is Friday. I got a few minutes here. We haven't done this in a long time, right? Yeah, I wanted to try something I really can't remember. That's cool. Yeah. Ooh. offense sucks right now. The Blue Jays need to change something up, or they're going to lose ground on the season. They're already like 2 games under 500 right now. Luckily, the Yankees are struggling right now. The Rays are not as good as they were in the previous seasons. Yeah, the Yankees are struggling hard too. Cool, man. All right, just a quick little jam. All right, guys. Let me know what you thought about some of the movies that you went out to see this weekend. If you went to see The Fall Guy or Tarot, and we will talk about it. Enjoy your weekend. Tomorrow, I am going to see The Phantom Menace for May the 4th. Happy Star Wars Day, everybody. And yeah, thanks, Piper, for Game 7. Nail biter at the end of last night's game, thinking that Boston was trying to tie that game up. Anyway, enjoy your weekend. See you next time, right here on Mirror Domains.